terms of that design and maternal look that I've been talking about throughout the day, certainly comes to the top of this class. She's long and elegant up through that front end and massive through that rib cage, sets down on a really appealing and functional hind leg as well. White heifer here coming next, another one probably not as far along in terms of condition and body volume at this stage of the game, but another one, like I said earlier, appreciate in terms of the overall length of front end that she has and the femininity, and when this heifer settles in and goes, she's correct on her feet and legs and gets out and travels the ring with plenty of reach and flexibility. That's where she has an advantage over the heifer here in third. I like the attractiveness in that one as well. She's really good in her lines. This one we set her in motion. She's a little bit more upright and straight in the slope to that shoulder. I'd like to lay her back there to get her any higher today. The heifer here next coming out, I think she's deep bodied. She's got some width down that top. She's a little quicker in her maturity pattern. I'd like to just give her a little bit more grow and a little more gas here to get her up any place today, but really a nice set of heifers there, logical placing in that class.
Well, congratulations in the Shorthorn ring. Results out of Class 15 before we go to Division. First place will go to Brittany Blankenship of Orlando, Oklahoma with CF Mona Lisa, 31 UHXET. Second place, and congratulations will go to Beth Wells of Van Alstyne, Texas. Third place went to Shane Carlisle of Amarillo, Texas. And fourth place will go to Travis Waite. We'll now bring those first and seconds in. Select a champion reserve, junior heifer calf. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here in the Jim Norick Arena, we're going to get started with your Cattlemen's Congress Junior Chiangus Female Show. First class in the ring will be Class 1 Chiangus heifers born May of 23. We'd like to welcome your judge today, Mr. John Sweeney. John Sweeney, his wife Kayla, and son Jack reside in Cedarville, Ohio. They operate Sweeney Cattle, which focus on raising Angus show cattle. These cattle are marketed in conjunction with Kayla's family operation, Campbell Co., where John, Kayla, and Jack also help out. Originally from Mitchellville, Iowa, John is a 2011 graduate of Iowa State University with a degree in ag business. After graduating, he started a career with Elanco Animal Health as the beef sales representative for Indiana and Ohio, where he currently works. John has judged many national, state, and local shows in 10 different states. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Welcome Mr. John Sweeney to Oklahoma City.
Once again here in our January-February lineup in our Shorthorn show, another outstanding lineup from end to end, in my opinion, terms of quality and soundness, and cattle that got some maternal look and some structural integrity. And I think each of these heifers out here in our firsts and our seconds, I think all represent that incredibly well, and hopefully as we get into some larger numbers here and as we're going through, you can follow and see a type and kind that I like and what I prefer, and as the same thing that we do in our operation and how we like to sort them as well. well. And so with that being said, I'm not going to go through and talk about them all individually again. Hopefully I describe them accurately in class. I think that there's a pair of heifers in here again that certainly sort up in terms of type and kind and fit together really well. One's maybe laid in just a little bit neater through her shoulder and is splitting hairs between the two, but they're very maternal, they're very sound, and they got just an awesome show ring look. I'll go show you the two that I like here. Let's give these exhibitors a round of applause.
Well, congratulations in that division. Your champion will go to Miller Smith of Pendleton, Indiana, with CFPC Mona Lisa 350 Synchex, and reserve champion and congratulations will go to Benjamin Allen of Saxonburg, Pennsylvania, with Free Fits Crystal Swan 2309 ET.
Well, welcome to our 2024 Junior Chiangus Heifer Show out here. Certainly is my pleasure to be out here evaluating them today. Look forward to this show for an awfully long time, and we're off to a fast start out here, ladies and gentlemen. Young man brings us a May heifer that puts together so many good pieces. One that's up-headed and elegant and fresh about the shape to her skull, her length and neck. Super smooth shouldered, and from there back, her rib cage and body and the sweep that she has there to it gets big in a big hurry. A female for me that I think is stout enough, especially for this young age. One you might change just ever so slightly as you study her from hooks to pins. I'd like to see her pin set on her just a bit wider, maybe see her grab ground with just a touch more authority off her rear too, but her angles are nice and one that's undeniable in the picture that she paints from the side.
Well, congratulations, and a good way to start out your Junior Chiangus show. First place and our champion Summer Heifer Calf. We'll go to back number 7001. That's HIGG Kelly 308 LET, exhibited by Pate Parsons of Leavenworth, Kansas. We'll now welcome in your next division. First class will be Class 2, Chiangus Heifers, born April of 23.
Another high-quality duo out here in our Chiangus show. Young ladies heifer's just a bit more my type and kind. One, again, that's beautiful in terms of her freshness. I like her neck attachment, the feminine look she gives you there through her front 1/3. She's a long-spined female, a big-bodied female that cuts a really elegant silhouette out here in the ring. And then in particular, as we set them in motion, a heifer that's just a little more comfortable there in the angle to her hock and her rear pastern. I like like the shape to her rear foot, her length of toe, her depth of heel, just a shot better. I'm not going to try to convince you that she's absolutely perfect there out of her front end, but I do still think she's a structural upgrade in that regard compared to the heifer in second. The one in second is stouter. You want to talk about one that has base width and shape and pop and expression there as you study her down her top. She's got it in spades. She's got a little extra flair there as you study her through her rear quarter. Big muscled, thick ending kind of a heifer. For me, we'd like to match that stoutness as we take her to the ground. Just give her a little bigger foot. I'd like to see her set down on her rear pasterns with just a bit more authority, relax her a touch and the angle to her shoulder. I think it'd allow her to shoot her head and neck just a little bit taller out of the front end of her skeleton, but I do like that one's shape and power.
Well, really a nice trio here in our December heifers in the Shorthorn show, and I think a logical place to start for me in terms of one that's built a little bit more like I like them. I think there's quality from end to end here, but this is the type thing that certainly I prefer. I think this heifer is just a little bit more smooth in her overall build and dimension. She's a little longer and a little more feminine in that muscle pattern, and I just like the overall rib shape dimension that she has. She's cleaner through her underline, cleaner through that navel, and the way she transitions back into her flank. I think that's a really good broody heifer there, really maternal in her design. Another one that's tremendously stout and big featured as well. She's got tremendous hip shape and carries that down through her quarter. Another one, when she's set in motion, she gets out and goes well for as much power and mass and substance as she has. I just like to tone her down just a little bit more, and like I said, just change her the way she transitions there in her underline as compared to our class winner. Young lady's got a really nice heifer here to round out the class. Another one that's long and elegant up to that front end. She's really strong top. She's appealing there from her hip down to her hind leg. There's just not as much of her. I'd like to give her a little bit more power in terms of bone and body mass, but one that certainly has a look and some femininity to her as well.
Well, congratulations. Back over in the Chiangus ring. Results out of Class 2. First place went to back number 7002. That's Higg Kelly 306 LET, exhibited by Josie Ritter of Beamer, Nebraska. Second place in that class went to Kinsley Moore of Oak Harbor, Ohio. Now in the ring, Class 3, Chiangus heifers, born March of 2023. Over to the Shorthorn ring, results on a Class 18 winner heifer calves. First place exhibited by John Allen of Saxonburg, Pennsylvania, with Mav Picture Perfect 290 KET. Second place and congratulations will go to Wyatt Finsgard of Goodhue, Minnesota. And third place and congratulations will go to Cooper Lowry. Now in the ring, Class 19 winter heifer calves.
Well, a high-quality pair back out here in our Chiangus side. And that said, I think the young man wins rather convincingly in my mind. I think she's the combination option in this particular pair. One that offers us some shape as you study her right in behind her shoulder and through her center rib. She's a female that has enough muscle and power right in behind her blades and out over her loin. And then as you study her in terms of her structure, she's a bigger-footed, softer-legged kind of a heifer that's more comfortable as we set her here in motion. She's not the biggest pin, widest and squarest pinned heifer we've seen all day, and that might be where we change her just a touch, but from there forward, plenty of power and one that is very, very comfortable out here in the ring. Young lady's heifer here in second, one you love in terms of her freshness. I love the shape to her head, long-necked, up-headed, one that through her front 1/3 paints just a gorgeous picture out here for us. You study her right in behind her blades. She's a little more concave in the shape there to her forerib, maybe not quite as impressive in terms of her heart. Set her in motion, and I think she's acceptable in her structure. I'd just like to give her a little bigger foot and just a little more give and cushion there in her pastern. But a nice pair nonetheless. My compliments to each of these exhibitors.
Well, congratulations in our final class in your late junior heifer calf division over here in the Chiangus ring. First place will go to back number 7006. That's Higg Kelly 304 LET. exhibited by Braylon Schaefer of Hagerstown, Indiana. Second place and congratulations go to Avery Fincher of Waxahachie, Texas. We'll bring those first and seconds in. Select a champion reserve, late junior heifer calf.
A really good class of November heifers over here, and for me there's some give and take between the two that start the class, and I think there's some differences in terms of type and kind, but the white or the redneck roan heifer here in terms of athleticism and structural integrity comes to the top for me. I think this heifer, when she gets out and goes, she's super flexible off both ends. She's long strided. She's more correct. The way that the whole hip to pins to hock into the ground, all that ties together, and she's just more comfortable when she gets out and goes. She's a little greener in terms of her condition and maybe not blessed with the softer hair like the heifer in second, and that just makes her look just maybe a shot harder in terms of her body shape as compared to our second. I think this one's got good rib shape and dimension in that center portion of her body. I think that one's really athletic and really good looking in her build as well. The deeper sided heifer here is the red and white heifer in second, and I like a lot of things about this one really well. She's super attractive up through that front end and blends smooth through that shoulder when she's on the stand. She's deeper there through the center portion of her body. When she gets out and goes, she maybe just doesn't want to cooperate and float around the ring quite as well as our class winner. I think there's an awful lot of good to that one there as well. Really stout and broody heifer here coming next in third. She's got some power. She's got some hip and some bone. When we set this heifer in motion, she gets a little more open and wants to roll out of that shoulder just slightly. I'd like to change that about her. If she kept that together just a little bit tighter, I think she'd be right up there towards the top. Young man here is doing an awesome job with this heifer, and he's got a powerhouse that he's dragging around. I think this heifer's certainly big bone. She's robust in her muscle shape and body dimension. He's doing an awesome job of getting that powerhouse around the ring. Young man here rounding out the class, another one that certainly has some femininity and some length and smoothness through that shoulder. I'd like to soften her up the way she handles her top when she gets out and goes. Maybe just give her a little bit more strength and stability off those hind legs. Certainly, though, feminine up through that front end has a good look to her.
Back in our Chiangus show here, two very high quality heifers that are in contention. I think two that are a bit contrasting in terms of their type and kind. Talk through a little bit of what I see in them. Young lady here out of the first class, one that paints us such a nice picture from the side profile. A female that's very proportional and balanced and complete as you study her from the side. I like her look up front, a female that's big and balanced there in the center of her rib cage. One that maybe not quite as stout as the heifer directly behind her, but I like her squareness as you step right in behind her. I think she has a bit of an advantage in the way she handles her pins and her hind legs. You know, maybe one, and the advantage the young man's heifer has here out of the second class is that she's a bit longer. That first heifer, maybe just a little more shorter spine. The young man, your heifer's tremendously long-sided. I like the power that she brings to the table. I do think she is the upgrade in terms of muscularity, big back, thick-ended heifer, one that matches that first-class winner in terms of her body depth and balance. Maybe not quite as high tying as we study her out here from the profile. A female that when the young man doesn't have his stick on her back and have her top set down into her, maybe rolls up just a bit there over her loin edge and tapers back to her pins, but one that, like I said, has a ton of power, a ton of length, a ton of product in that particular female. I actually think it's quite close. Again, they're different in terms of their type and kind. I'll give them one more look and show you the way that I like them. Let's give this division a nice round of applause.
Well, congratulations in the Chiangus ring. Your champion late junior heifer calf comes out of Class 2. That'll go to Josie Ritter of Beamer, Nebraska with HIGG Kelly 306 LET. Reserve champion, and congratulations will go to Braylon Schaefer, Hagerstown, Indiana. Well, now welcome in Class 4. These are Chiangus heifers born January to February 23. This will also be a division. Back over to the Shorthorn ring, results out of Class 19 winter heifer calves. First place and congratulations goes to Braden Cole, the board of Bardwell, Texas, with a GCC Max Rosa Chrome 22ET. Second place exhibited by Emily Munrath of Grayford, Texas. Third place will go to Maddox Reedy. Fourth place and congratulations will go to Brianna Smith. And fifth place will go to Shane Carlisle. Now in the ring is Class 20 senior heifer calves.
Another really deep quality class here on the Shorthorn side, and for me a pretty logical place to start. I think from the ground up this heifer is really good and dense in her feet. She's got really good bone work in that shape that she has, really super elegant up through that front end and transitions back into a big hip and wide pin set. Not overly the deepest animal that we've seen here today, but her rib shape is good, and that one's got the makings here. As you get a bit, she's just at breeding age now. You get that one heavy in calf, she's certainly got the tools to be even better on down the road. I think that one's got an awful lot of nice pieces to her. Really complete heifer here that comes next in class as well. Super smooth from her shoulder back into her forerib. A heifer that's really good and deep through that center portion of her body. A little bit flatter and maybe not as much bone as the heifer that goes out ahead of her. I think one though that's really good and maternal in her overall build. A little bit different end of the spectrum here with our heifer that's coming next. I think this one is really good in terms of an outline and a profile. She's really long up through that front end. She's really good in her lines. She just maybe needs to be a little softer to get over those other two here today. Heifer here coming next, another really deep-sided one. She's got a little more chest and maybe not quite the look of the heifers ahead of her. The heifer here rounding out the class, another one that's broody in her makeup. She's got some rib shape and dimension, just maybe doesn't have the overall eye appeal and style of the heifers ahead of her here today.
Well, congratulations in Class 20 in the Shorthorn Ring. First place, go to back number 60539. That's WHRCCR Cecilia 2018 ET, exhibited by Shelby McCarty of Weatherford, Texas. Second place in that class, go to Carter Meyer of Needville, Texas. Third place, go to Spartan Valley Shorthorns of Crane, Missouri. Fourth place and congratulations go to Brigham DeBoard of Bardwell, Texas. Fifth place went to Gracie Wheeler of Amarillo, Texas. Now in the ring, Class 21, Senior Heifer Calves before the division.
One of the bigger classes we've had so far today, and I think if I'm honest, there's bits and pieces about every heifer out here in the ring that I like, and there's probably things that we like to change. Young man's heifer, I think is the most in keeping with the type and kind that I'm looking for in terms of having some natural body and rib shape. I think she has the advantage in this particular class in terms of the way she's assembled her underline. I like where her chest floor ties in relation there to her middle, and the way her flank lies into her. Big bone, big footed, kind of a female that's got some power to her. I'll be the first to admit she needs leaned up just a touch. She's not as elegant and eye appealing and feminine as I would like through her front 1/3, and that's where the heifer in second makes it interesting, because she's ultra high tying, very fresh, ultra lean, maybe one of the leanest and most modest conditioned heifers seen out here today, and I like that an awful lot. A female that's got a ton of topside shape in her. Her squareness is really impressive as you study her from hooks to pin. Big boned, big footed, kind of a female. For me, I'd like to see her transition just a touch better from the point of her shoulder back into the middle portions of her forerib. She's not quite as good in line to her underline. For me, I'd like to deepen her out there through her rear flank. And it's as you set her in motion, she may be just a little bit more stilty there in terms of the angle to her hock. Heifer that comes next corrects the heifer before in terms of her underline, in terms of her body density. I like this one center third a great deal. Very feminine and maternal in terms of her outline and her look and her build. For me, it's when you step in behind this one, and it's probably just a bit surprising. She is probably the flattest muscled, narrowest pinned heifer in this particular class. And then to hunt with those two right in front of her, she needs to set down a little bigger foot. Another one that's ultra fresh, one that paints us a nice picture from the side, a really high quality heifer to conclude a class. For me, I just thought we needed a little more true shape, and that one's forerib. You get in behind him, she's probably the most in need of being intensified in her lower quarter and her twist. Stouten that one up, give her a little bit more time on feed, and I think you could jumble those up just a touch.
Well, congratulations in your early junior heifer calf division for our junior Chiangus show champion. We'll go to back number 7010. That's HIGG Kelly 303 LET, exhibited by Michael Barnett of Woodlawn, Tennessee. Reserving that division, we'll go to Samantha Van Voris, Bowling Green, Ohio, with BMW MMJ Ace 222 LET. Third place was exhibited by Belle Bennett of Knox, Indiana. And fourth place will go to Mackenzie Klomoski of Palmetto, Florida. We're now going to welcome in Class 5 is a scratch. We're going to welcome in Class 6, Chiangus heifers, born July to August of 22.
a nice single entry summer born female out here. I think one that's got a lot of neat pieces in terms of her muscularity and her power. Big, dense footed kind of a female that's got a ton of balance as you study her underneath. Not the longest fronted female we've seen out here today, but one that kind of still has that ability to poke her head and neck up tall on the top side of her shoulder. If we were to change her, we'd like to redesign her just a touch in terms of her underline, one that's a little bit more tubular as you study her in that regard. She wants to run downhill just a touch, flag that tail head up there as you study her from the side profile. You might redesign her in terms of her outline in those regards, but one that's pretty undeniable in terms of her stoutness and her density. Nice job with the young lady.
Well, congratulations, Class 6 in the Chiangus ring. First place to go to back number 7012. That's Cal FaceTime, exhibited by Mackenzie Klemkowski of Palmetto, Florida. We're now going to welcome in your next class before the division. This is Class 7, Chiangus Heifers, born May of 22.
Well, really an exciting class to sort here, and if you watching along the sides, if somebody wants to swap these, I wouldn't argue with you too much. I think this is kind of a kind call in my opinion. And to be honest, what it comes down to, and my deciding factor, if you come to Niles and you look at our Angus heifers and what we show, this is more similar in the type and kind of what we drag out of Niles than the heifer in second. Now, that's not taking anything away. I think both of them are awesome in their own right. I think they're different in terms of type and kind. I like the smoothness and the flatness of this heifer's shoulder and the way she transitions back so smooth, and she's so elegant there in her underline. I really like that about her, and that's a big advantage, that smoothness there through her shoulder, and that's where I tend. Like I said, that's more the kind that I probably lead, but that's not taking anything away from the heifer in second. The heifer in second, tremendous in terms of power and performance, and she's stout, and she's thick, and she still covers ground really, really good. And that being said, I think she's a really unique breeding piece that way. I think she's got some presence. Like I said, when we make that last lap there, I think she's a little bit more open in her shoulder, maybe just a little bit more in terms of condition today than our class winner, but I think a tremendous breeding piece. Young lady, you get into a really hard class here, and I think you got an awful nice heifer as well. Really a complete individual, and she's got some look and she's got some body. She just maybe lacks all the bells and whistles that the first two heifers do coming out of the class. Same to be said here, really feminine up through that front end, maybe not quite the performance of the heifers ahead of her.
Back here in our junior Chiangus show, interesting pair of heifers out here, and quite frankly, I think the one that's going to win the class is just a little bit harder to build. Female that has a decided advantage in terms of her condition. This one's got plenty of shape as you get up on top of her, long and square in terms of her pin set and her hip design. Female, even in spite of being leaner in terms of her condition, I read this heifer's underline to lie a little more appropriately. Her chest sits up high into her. Even though it sticks forward just a shot, I still think her balance and her sweep from there back is better. A female to me that just is a little bit or ladylike in her kind. You know, if we're going to change her, she wants to wing those points of her shoulder out just ever so slightly. At times when the young lady doesn't have those front feet just nailed, she'll twist those front toes out accordingly. For me, a female that maybe runs downhill just a touch and is a little more concave right in behind her blades. But I don't know that the heifer behind her is an actual upgrade just in terms of her condition. Heifer in second appears to be smoother as you study her from end to end. I do read her to be a little flatter in the point of her shoulder and perhaps just a little bit better in the angle to her shoulder. She's a female as you study her from the side is long and level in terms of her hip structure. I like the added foot and bone that she brings to the table. For me, we need to rein this one back in terms of her condition. A female that's got plenty of pone there, plenty of jiggle in terms of her underline, and in spite of that, you step in behind her and she's really no stouter than the one that goes before. She's quite a bit flatter actually in the center portions of her muscle package. For me, we just need to lean that one up, make her a little more genuine and robust in terms of her shape, but the young lady's done an excellent job with her. She's got some cool pieces to go ahead and breed on. Back here in our Chiangus side division out here, two nice heifers is in contention. Young lady here out of our first class had one that we talked just a minute ago. Had a lot of neat pieces in terms of her foot and her bone, the power that she brings to the table. As you study her out here from the side profile, not the coolest, wildest front end we've seen all day today. Again, one that runs downhill just a touch as you study her from her tail head to the top of her shoulder, but one that's got some undeniable pieces to go ahead and work on when you get her in production. Heifer here out of our second class, we just talked, one that we love in terms of her freshness, her genuine shape, her crispness is in terms of her muscle package, one that I deem to still have enough body and the appropriate line to her underline. Female, as we talked, we'd redesign her just a touch in terms of the openness to her shoulder and the way she places weight on the front toes, but that's a hard kind of a heifer to make. I'll give them one look out here, show you the way that I like them. Let's put our hands together for these young people on a really good division of cattle.
Well, here again on our shorthorn side, this senior heifer calf division certainly has been really good from end to end, and a lot of functional cattle and deep and sound. And as we break them down and see them all together back out here again, in my champion in division, my champion in reserve, they're not necessarily the same type and kind, but at the same time, I think they're both really high quality individuals. We're going to keep these two out of our last class together. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations over here in the Chiangus ring, your champion summer yearling coming out of Class 7. That's Haley Allen of Wyoming, Illinois. Reserve champion will go to Gemma Emberson of Nowata, Oklahoma. We're going to bring in Class 8. These are Chiangus heifers born April of 22. This will also be a division in the Chiangus ring. Back over to the Shorthorn ring, your senior heifer calf, exhibited by Reed Haynes, Greenville, Ohio, with CF Crystal Lucy 2121 RKXET. And second place also will come from Class 21. That's back number 60553, WSCC Steck Chelsea RD 210 KET, exhibited by Kagan Steck of Woodstock, Minnesota. We're now going to welcome in Class 24. These are summer yearling females.
An April single entry division out here. Congratulations to a young lady, a heifer that I like a good deal in terms of her completeness, up-headed female that's really good there as you study her jawline and her throat latch. Her neck attachment's awesome. A female that's ultra long spine, and in spite of her length, one that balances still good, one that's got the right sweep there as you study her underneath. A female that's got more than enough power for me as you step in behind them. I like the added flex and give that she has there off her rear too, especially for a heifer at this age. If we're going to change her ever so slightly, maybe just a touch straighter in the angle to her shoulder and her knee, but a female that paints us such a good picture out here from the side, one that can no doubt stand a good deal of competition.
Well, here in our July-August class, I think a logical place to start for me, a heifer that's super complete and smooth and good in her lines. She's the most correct from her hock to the ground and the way she handles that when she gets out in motion. A heifer that's the most complete from a profile standpoint and the most correct in her lines. Really just a complete heifer. Doesn't overwhelm you in any one way, but really a nice solid heifer. The red heifer that goes second, I think most follows her in terms of that rib shape and dimension and capacity that she has coming right out of her shoulder in that center portion of her body. She's more broody in her overall design, and that's why she's second. I think the heifer here that is coming in third, just tremendously elegant up through that front end. She's smooth through that shoulder. She's a little harder in that rib cage and maybe doesn't drop down through that rear rib and flank as much as I'd like to see her. She's leaner in her condition, and I'm sure that on down the road she gets a little further along. Certainly going to be a fun one for this young man to show as well.
Well, congratulations. Back over in the Chiangus ring, your champion late spring yearling. We'll go to back number 7017. That was LLW Card Caroline 36K, exhibited by Cagney Hoffman of Wyoming, Illinois. Now in ring one, we have your final class and division in our junior Chiangus female show. Back over to the Shorthorn ring, results out of class 24. First place exhibited by back number 60555. That's Fantasy ET, exhibited by Olivia Gillette of Vinta, Oklahoma. Second place will go to Emily Schellenberg of Kingfisher, Oklahoma. And third place went to Grady Jennings of Grafford, Texas. Now in the ring is Class 25 late spring yearling heifers.
Another class and division out here in our Chiangus heifer show. A pretty convincing way to start off in my mind. Young lady gets this heifer part and she puts together so many good things. One that definitely has the extras as you study her from the side profile. One that, I'll be the first to admit, she's not the wildest, trimmest necked when we see her today, but she's still ultra feminine and cowy in her look through her front 1/3. And from there back, things get big in a hurry. Big, bold rib cage. Really square and sharp in terms of her edges. Love her sweep to her underline. Love her rear flank and the way her udder appears to be developing. A female as you step in behind her, one that has a decided advantage in terms of her squareness from hooks to pins. I won't lie, out here there's times that class winner could get out to her step just a little bit more easily, but her angles read right, and she sure got a lot on her in terms of power and product. The heifer in second, one that, I like in terms of her kind, one that's big-bodied and bold-ribbed, really cowy in terms of the way she's put together. If we're going to change her, it's when you study her from hooks back, one that's a little narrower and lower in terms of her pin set. At times you want to try to say that she uses her back leg with just a little more flexibility, but I actually think she just kind of drops her pins and hooks her hock to get there. I'd change her in that regard, lean her up just a touch, but that's a useful kind of a cattle. My compliments to two high-quality bred heifers.
Another nice pair here on our shorthorn side, and really moderate red and white heifer here, but certainly complete in her own right. I think feminine up through that front end, and she's got an advantage just in the way she ties everything together a little smoother in terms of her profile. She's a little neater in her underline. She blends a little smoother through her shoulder and back into her forerib. A heifer, like I said, not super soft and soggy in any one way, but really a nice, complete, moderate heifer here to start with. The higher performing, bigger top, thicker heifer here in second. You got to appreciate those things about her and respect that as far as a breeding piece. Just one when you compare her back to our class winner. I'd like to soften her up through the center portion of her body, maybe just tie everything together a little smoother.
Well, congratulations back in the junior Chiangus ring. Results out of your last division. Champion early spring yearling will go to back number 7018. That's BMW Ace 2 327K. ET exhibited by Mallory Johnson. And reserve champion in that division will go to Luke Jennings of Felicity, Ohio. Well, at this time, over in the Chiangus ring, we're going to bring those division champion and reserves in, and our judge will be selecting his grand and reserve grand champion, Chiangus females, here in your junior show at the Cattlemen's Congress. Back over to the Shorthorn ring, results out of Class 25, late spring yearling females. First place was exhibited by Emily Munroth of Grayford, Texas, with Perfect Maid Z2. And second place, and congratulations, will go to Helen Spears of Macomb, Oklahoma. Now in the ring, late spring yearling females, Class 26, before the division.
Well, what a show it's been. Quite obviously not long on numbers, but if you folks at ringside can't get excited about the Chiangus cattle here in Oklahoma City, I really can't do much for you, because there's as much depth and quality per capita out here in the ring as any show you'll go to anywhere. So that's my compliments to all of you as breeders, to you exhibitors for putting it in the long hours out here to come out and compete. I think just a phenomenal set of cattle from that calf down there on my right all the way out to this bred heifer here on my left. I hope you can start to see the type and kind that I like. These are feminine cattle that have some structural integrity, still have some body and substance and look to us. This is the kind of cattle I like to raise and show. So very proud of the lineup we have out here. I did just want to make one quick comment. We're still here on the weekend, still a good crowd around. The last time I was in Oklahoma City, I stood right over there in the ring Andrew's in and showed an Angus heifer, showed it under Gerald Callahan. And that was the last time I was in town, and so for me it's surreal to be out here to show that he helped design and build, and to be thinking about the incredible loss that the show cattle community has experienced, the cattle community as a whole, the state of Oklahoma. You know, I didn't know Gerald as good as some of the people out here have eulogized him and had some beautiful speeches, but I admired him from afar as a cattleman and a businessman and a leader and an icon. But you know, all the things he'll be remembered for, I think most important is as a father and a husband. So all our hearts go out to the Callahan family, to the folks there in Yukon at Express Ranches. I know we're out here in the Key show, but some folks are transcendent, not relative to breed. I wanted to mention that while I was out here and take an opportunity to offer all our condolences. Past that, I'll set the mic down because we got a lot of celebration to do out here in terms of these young people, in terms of the cattle, or the caliber of these cattle. If you would, please bring your hands together and congratulate them. I'll pick you a champion of reserve.
Well, congratulations, your grand champion, Chiangus female, in our junior show at the Cattlemen's Congress. Coming out of that last division, back number 7018, that's BMW Ace 2, 327 KET, exhibited by Mallory Johnson. And congratulations, Reserve Grand Champion coming out of the first division. Going to Pate Parsons, Leavenworth, Kansas, with HIGG Kelly 308LET. Again, congratulations to all of our junior Chiangus exhibitors. And a special thank you to our judge this afternoon, Mr. John Sweeney.
Well, back here on the Shorthorn side here in our May class, and tremendous quality from end to end, and kind of a logical place in my mind, and in keeping with the trend of how I've been picking them today. I think tremendously a maternal built kind of female here to lead off the class. So smooth in the way she transitions from her forerib back into her flank, and when she gets out and goes with plenty of reach and comfort off of both ends. Really just maternal in her overall build. That one doesn't strike you and overwhelm you in any one way, but she's certainly a good animal and good breeding piece in terms of completeness. No real faults in that one when we evaluate her. Heifer here coming next in second, and certainly impressive in terms of her overall foot and bone work. She's really massive, and she's thick-topped, and she's got some dimension that way. You like an awful lot of things about her. With that comes just a shot more shoulder and just a little bit just a little bit, not quite as smooth of a design as the heifer that leads off the class, but certainly one that you appreciate for her overall power and mass and bone. Certainly a unique breeding piece as well. The heifer here coming next, one that certainly long-fronted and good in her lines and tremendous in terms of that design as well. When we compare to the heifers that go out ahead of her, maybe just not quite as unique in that balance and that look that she possesses, maybe just has a little more chest in relation to her flank, but I think another one that's sound and functional. Heifer here coming next, the red and white one, she's got a really good look, and she's appealing from the side, and when she's on the stand, she catches your attention without a doubt. When we set her in motion, she gets a little more upright in her shoulder, and when she does, she tucks that there in her forerib. I'd like to maybe soften her up a little bit that way. Same can be said for the next heifer rounding out, a heifer that another one that's really good from that profile standpoint. She kind of wants to get a little harder in her rib and tuck that and roach that top up as she gets out and goes. The heifers here next coming, a pair of them as well. They've got some depth, they've got some length of body and some maternal build that way. I'd just like to smooth them all up just a little bit more in comparison to the heifers that start out the class, but tremendously functional females here as well.
Well, congratulations over here in the Shorthorn Ring, last class before the Intermediate Champion Drive. Your first place will go to Caitlin Berg, Osage, Iowa, with Berg's Miley Myrtle Bow. Second place, and congratulations, go to Abilene Sullivan of Lawton, Oklahoma. Third place goes to Morgan Brooks of Venus, Texas. Fourth place will go to Miller Smith of Pendleton, Indiana. Fifth place, and congratulations will go to Josie Heater of the Raymond, Kansas. Sixth place, and congratulations will go to Cade Springler. And seventh place will go to Jamie Lyons. We're now going to bring in those first and seconds, select a champion reserve, intermediate female.
Well, here in our intermediate division, once again, another outstanding lineup. And as we get to these heifers and starting getting into these bigger bred heifers and looking on to the future and what's going to be future donor cows here for each of these individuals out here and should be calving here later this spring. Tremendous in terms of the maternal ability that all these have, and certainly impressive from that standpoint. So probably not one of the biggest divisions we'll see here today, but at the same time, the quality's been awesome. I think there's a pair of heifers that match up really well, certainly maternal and going to be awesome in terms of breeding pieces. Be our last two heifers out of our last two classes. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations, intermediate champion female. We'll go to back number 60568. That's Berg's Miley Bertelbow, exhibited by Caitlin Berg, Osage, Iowa. Reserve champion goes to back number 60565. That's CCBF. Crystal Dream 15 KET, exhibited by Abilene Sullivan, Lawton, Oklahoma. We're now going to welcome in Class 29 early spring yearling females. For those of you joining us here in the Jim Norick Arena, we're going to get started with your open Chiangus show in just a moment over here in Ring 1.
Well, here in our April, starting our junior yearling division, I think a logical lineup in my mind in the red heifer to start for me, much like I've said throughout the day, just super complete and maternal. She blends so smoothly from end to end, and she's long-hipped, and she sets down on a good hind leg, just super complete in every which way. She gets out and goes with plenty of reach and flexibility, sets down really comfortably off both ends when she goes around the ring, just like that one, a good deal when she gets set in motion as well. The heifer here that comes in second, I think in terms of balance and eye appeal, certainly is appealing that way as well. She's long hipped, she's got a really good hind leg, maybe not as soft in the center portion of her body as our class winner, but I think one that's certainly good in terms of that overall look that she has, and when we set her in motion, she gets out and goes well also. The heifer here coming next in third, the dark red roan heifer, and in that heifer, she's got a really good look. She's appealing from the side, she's long, she's level in her lines, she's balanced. When we set her in motion, she gets a little more open in her shoulder and wants to stride out a little wider than I'd like to see when she gets out and goes. Same to be said here for the young man's heifer rounding out the class, another moderate, big-bodied one. And when we set her in motion though too, I just like to set her back just a little bit in the slope of her shoulder, maybe just keep that in just a little bit more to get her any higher today.
Well, congratulations in the Shorthorn Ring. Results out of Class 29. First place, we'll go to Mark Inskeep of Lafayette, Indiana with CF Crystal Lady 290 URX. Second place in that class, we'll go to Rebecca Hunt of Bramer, Missouri. Third place, we'll go to Grady McGrew, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. In fourth place in that class, we'll go to Nightland Tony of Lexington, Oklahoma. We're now going to welcome in your next class in this division. This will be Class 30, Early Spring Yearling Females.
Really a powerful march here to start off this class, and I think one that from her shoulders back is certainly impressive in terms of the strength that she has in her top and the body and the dimension that she has, a big hip and a really nice hind leg, and when the young man gets her stopped like that, tremendous balance in that profile that she has. She's super long fronted, and she just gives you that good look there and ring presence. When we set her in motion, she's not the most comfortable off that front end, but she handles it well enough here in this class. I think one that certainly in terms of power and design you got to start with here. Next heifer here, the red heifer, another one in terms of design you like. She's deep centered and she's got some body and some look there as well. And she's, when we compare her back to her class winner, there's maybe not quite as much of her in terms of mass and dimension. I think one though that's certainly going to be a moderate and good breeding piece. Where she has an advantage over the heifer that's in third is when we set her in motion. She's longer strided. She ties higher there out of her shoulder into her neck, and it contributes to a little bit better slope there to her shoulder, and that's where our third heifer kind of falls into this spot. I think this heifer, in terms of body and length and dimension, that way you really appreciate those things about her. She's going to be a really good looking cow. Still, when we set her in motion, she's a little more upright and straight to the slope of that shoulder, doesn't get out with as much reach and flexibility as the heifers ahead of her.
Well, congratulations in the Shorthorn ring. First place in that class will go to Winston Dreyer of Tulare, Texas. Second place, and congratulations, Ryder Heater, Raymond, Kansas. And third place will go to Josie Harris. We're now going to welcome in class 31. This will be your final class before the division. Back over in the Chiangus ring, we're getting started with your open Chiangus female show. Your first class in the ring will be Class 1 Chiangus heifers born May of 23. We'd like to welcome our judge, Mr. Ernie Wallace.
Well, good afternoon here. We're really excited to judge the open Chiangus cattle, but we've got a really nice one here to start off with. Structurally, she's really good when you get her into motion. Very elegant in her look in terms of her front 1/3. Just tremendous big rib cage in this heifer. Sure not disappointed in her when you get behind her. Really wide base, wide pin kind of a heifer. Really nice single entry here to start the show off.
Well, congratulations in our first class in your open show for your Chiangus. First place in your champion summer heifer calf. We'll go to back number 7201. That's HIGG Kelly 308LET, exhibited by Pate Parsons of Leavenworth, Kansas. We'll now welcome in Class 2 Chiangus heifers born April of 23.
Another really high quality set of heifers here, and a logical placing in my mind. I think the heifer to start with for me in terms of that completeness that I've been talking about throughout the day. I think this one's really maternal in her design. She's smooth and she's level in her top line and long hipped and sets down on a good hind leg. Like I said, maybe not overwhelming in any one way, but certainly good in every way. And when she gets stopped and parked like that, it's certainly hard to find a hole in her, and I think certainly one that's complete and going to make a really good cow on down the road as well. The same can be said in a lot of ways for the heifer that comes in second, tremendously deep-bodied and sound-structured when she gets out and goes, a heifer that's long-bodied and long-hipped and got a really good hind leg. I'd like to change this one just a little bit there through her chest and maybe neaten her up through her front end. It'd make her a lot harder to handle in this class if that was just a little more cleaned up here in relation in comparison to our class winner. Young ladies heifer here coming next, one that's certainly striking from a profile standpoint, long and beautiful up through that front end, and she's long topped and long hipped. Just one when we set in motion, she's more straight in her shoulder, she gets a little more upright in her top, and I'd like to change that about her. The red and white heifer here coming next, the high performing, big bodied, massive one as well, one that certainly has some performance and some mass. I just like to neaten this one up. She gets a little straighter in her shoulder and wants to break in her loin when we get set in motion. Certainly one that's got some extras that in terms of a breeding piece will be good on down the road. Little moderate heifer here coming next that's robust in terms of her rib cage and dimension. She's moderate and efficient in her overall makeup. One that's certainly easy doing as well. She's going to make a nice cow. The heifer here rounding out the class. Another one that's got some look and some extra presence about her. I just like to free that one up when she gets set in motion.
Nice pair of heifers on the Chiangus side here, and two heifers are very, very good in terms of quality. Probably quite a bit different in their types and kind. And the heifer we're going to use to start off with here is this female that gives you just a nicer look in terms of the front 1/3 of her body. She just gives you just a more elegant, feminine kind of a female, longer neck. Probably got a little more depth of body and depth of rib as the heifer is in the second. I'm not going to say she's the widest based of the two heifers. She's probably just a little slighter muscle than the heifer that's right behind her. But I think this heifer we've got in second doesn't give you quite as nice a look in terms of the profile. Probably not quite as much depth and sweep to that lower rib cage as the heifer that wins the class. But I do like the width of pin in this female and the width of a base in her when you get right behind her. Two very nice heifers. Just going to use the heifer that's got just a tick more pizzazz in terms of show ring presence.
Well, congratulations over here in the Open Chiangus Female Show. Results out of Class 2. First place went to HIGG Kelly 306 LET, exhibited by Josie Ritter of Beamer, Nebraska. Second place in that class, exhibited by Kinsley Moore. Back over in the Shorthorn Ring, results before the division. Class 31, first place was exhibited by Cade Smith. Second place, and congratulations, went to Laramie Duncan. Third place will go to Julia Lyons. Fourth place, congratulations, Chloe Carlisle. Fifth place, exhibited by Andrew Triplett. And sixth, to Tanner Waite. Our judge is now going to select his champion reserve early spring females.
Well, once again, what an outstanding lineup here as we're getting into these big bred heifers, and certainly I know how much of a chore it is to keep these heifers fresh and going this long, and certainly at this stage of the game, and I commend all of you and how well they've been presented, and these heifers are fresh and they're maternal, and hopefully as we've gone throughout the day, you can see the style and the kind that I like, and as I go through each of these divisions, and as it's shaping up, I'm excited here to get through another division and get our lineup out here at the end. But with that being said, let's give these exhibitors in this division a round of applause. I'll go show you the two that I like in here.
Well, congratulations, champion that division. Coming out of class 29, that'll go to back number 60576, CF Crystal Lady 290, URX, exhibited by Mark Inskeep, Lafayette, Indiana. And the reserve champion will come out of class 31. Congratulations, Kate Smith of Gravette, Arkansas, with JCB Dixie's Pride 209K. We're now going to welcome in class 34. These will be junior yearling females. Well, for those of you just joining us here in the Jim Norick Arena, currently in Ring 1 is your Open Chiangus female show. We'd like to welcome our judges, Mr. Ernie Wallace and Mr. Sam Wallace. Ernie Wallace is the owner of Wallace Cattle Co., located in Stott City, Missouri. Ernie and his wife Tammy started their operation in 1984. Today they run a herd of more than 200 registered Angus and Simmental cattle. Their two children, Paige and Sam, were both very involved in the Angus and Simmental Junior Breed Associations growing up. Their family has grown over the years with the addition of a few grandchildren in the recent years. Sam and his wife Morgan have one son, Bo, and Paige and her husband Marcus have one daughter, Andy. Ernie has judged cattle at numerous shows, including the National Western Stock Show, North American International, the American Royal, and the Royal Agricultural Winter Fair in Canada, 9 national junior shows, and various state and regional events. Wallace Cattle Company has raised and shown Angus and Simmental females that were champions at the National Western, the American Royal, the North American International, American Junior Simmental Classic, and the National Junior Angus Show. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome Mr. Ernie and Sam Wallace.
Nice trio of heifers. I think we've got one up here. When she comes in the class, she just really commands your attention just in terms of the overall mass that she has. She's sure good enough in terms of the look up and through for a front 1/3. She's probably as wide-based as any female in the class when you get behind her. She's not perfect out of her rump in terms of her hooks to pin placement. I'd probably make her a little bit better there, but I think in this particular class she kind of excels, and good heifer to start, pretty logical heifer to start off with. The one most like her is the heifer here in second, and just in terms of her body depth and dimension and depth of ribs, she's probably got just a tick more muscle than the heifer that's right behind her in class. She too could be just a tick better out of her rump structure, and that's probably where I would criticize her the most. But she sure gives you a good enough look and good enough femininity and look up through that front 1/3, and just where she excels over the heifer in second is just in depth of body and width when you get behind her. Give this heifer here in third in time, and she can give these other heifers a run for their money. She's just not there yet. She's really green in terms of condition. You get a little disappointed when you get behind her just in terms of that lower 1/4, but boy, she gives you a killer look on the side. I love the balance that she has. She just needs some time, and I think in time she'll sure get more competitive in this class. Nice set here. If you would give them your round of applause and your appreciation.
Well, here in our January, February class, certainly an outstanding one here to lead off with in terms of what we've been talking about all day. This one's super complete. She's fresh, she's attractive, she's maternal in her body shape, and when she gets out and goes, she reaches and flows off of both ends really, really well around the ring. The heifer here in second, I like a lot of things about. She's not as powerful as the heifers on either side of her, but I think this heifer is the most correct in her structure following our class winner. I think she's a little more refined in her overall look, but she's sound, she's functional, she's really elegant in that design. She's going to be a good breeding piece to that structure and that look. You can do a lot of things with as well. The pair of heifers here coming next really pair up well together. They're powerful, they're massive, they're deep-bodied heifers that got a lot to them. I think between the two, either one of them, you can pick on the way they go out of their front ends a little bit. The roan heifer, in my mind, when you get back off them 50 feet, just has a little bit more of a balanced look, in my opinion, but two really powerful brood cows in the making there.
Well, congratulations over in the Shorthorn ring. To conclude your last division champion will go to Carter Wickard of Wilkinson, Indiana, with CF Crystal Lucy 230 RK XET reserve champion, and congratulations goes to Carter Meyer of Needville, Texas. Third place in that class was exhibited by Cooper Hetrick, and fourth place exhibited by Carter Cornegie. Well, at this time over here in Ring 2, we're going to get ready to bring in all those division champions. We will be selecting a Grand and Reserve Grand Champion, Shorthorn female, here at the Cattlemen's Congress in just a few moments. If you're just joining us in Ring 1, currently we have your first and second side of Class 2 and 3 to select a champion and reserve a late junior heifer calf for our open Chiangus female show.
Really nice division, and got two classes back out here for this. I guess it's the second division. The first heifer calf that was shown automatically won her divisions. But up here on my right, the young lady's heifer is just super complete in terms of balance and look and eye appeal. She's got just the right amount of body depth and swoop to that belly and depth of flank. Really a nice bone female. Tremendous amount of muscle in her, and especially as nice and neat as she is up through that front 1/3. Just a very complete kind of a heifer in that particular class. Big, powerful female here in that second class in this division. She kind of won it just in terms of her depth and in her look and the way she lays in nice. She's neat into that shoulder. I mentioned in class I'd raise those pins up on her when you get her on the go. She kind of wants to get down on those pins, but once you get it a stick on her and get her over on the profile, it just gives you a good look. But that's what I would change about her. But two really nice females. If you would give them a round of applause and show them your appreciation for these good females.
Well, congratulations, your champion late junior heifer calf, exhibited by Josie Ritter of Beamer, Nebraska, with HIGG Kelly 306 LET. And congratulations, reserve in that division, exhibited by Braylon Schaefer, Hagerstown, Indiana, with HIGG Kelly 304 LET. Well, at this time, we're going to welcome in Class 4 into your Chiangus ring. These will be heifers born January through February of 2023. Well, as we bring those reserve division champions in, let's put our hands together for all of our Shorthorn exhibitors at the Cattlemen's Congress. We'd also like to say a special thank you to our judge today, Mr. Andrew Foster, Niles, Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Foster joining us here in Oklahoma City.
Well, here in our Shorthorn ring, certainly been exciting today here, and I've thoroughly enjoyed my time and appreciate this opportunity. And I want to take a moment to thank the Shorthorn Association, Monty and all his crew, and everybody for asking me to do this. I've been excited about it for a long time, and certainly appreciate it. The Cattlemen's Congress and you know, this show is certainly a outstanding representation of the cattle industry, and it is. You know, I've been thinking about this speech for a long time now, and it's not going to come out near as much, and I haven't landed on what I was going to say exactly yet, but, you know, several years ago, Mark Johnson and Jeff Mafee convinced me to come to school at Oklahoma State, and to be honest, it's one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. And you know, I'm from Michigan, and my time in Oklahoma was truly special, and I believe that it's that this is kind of my second home, but just the spirit of the cattle industry in Oklahoma, the people that helped put this show on, Tyler Novell and Cass Newell, certainly, you know, this show, it truly is a lasting legacy, and what it's done for the cattle industry is certainly impressive. And so with that, I'd like to definitely thank the Cattlemen's Congress and for also allowing me the opportunity to do this. I'd like to thank, you know, we've been here with cattle exhibiting this week as well. We had a big string of Angus, and this morning I sent some to Denver and sent some home and put my wife and kids on airplanes and return rental cars, and you know, and our crew just stepped up big time this week. And I asked a lot of them, and I can't thank them enough. They allow me the opportunity to do this. My dad and had went home with my wife and girls, and you know, much like the rest of you, I've spent the last month getting ready for this, or maybe longer getting ready for this, just the same. I know the work that all of you guys put into getting to this point, and you know, my family, they support us, and everything that we do, they support me, my wife, and my girls, just the same. You know, we work through the holidays just the same as all of you, and certainly it takes a very understanding group of people, and people that thoroughly believe in this too, to be able to stand behind us and support us through that as well. And so I also, not only the crew that we have on the road, but my uncle's been at home calving cows, and we're very, very fortunate to have him to be able to stay back and look over things as well. You know, I've avoided this all day, and because you can hear it in my voice, but I certainly here I can't express how much Gerald Callahan had meant to my family and what he'd done for us over the years. And I've sat and listened to a lot of things, you know, a lot of people, a lot of sentiments from all the judges this week and people involved, and my heart goes out to Jennifer and Ryan and the rest of the family and everyone had expressed too. And you know, Amy Sturspaw in the Angus Bull Show the other day, you know, she said that Gerald Callahan's the Michael Jordan of the beef cattle industry, and I couldn't agree more. And when I was a kid, you know, I played a lot of basketball, and everybody wanted to be like Mike, but I certainly, when I dress up and get to set foot in a ring like this and evaluate cattle, I want to play like Gerald. So a couple of years ago, just like John Sweeney had said here earlier, I was fortunate enough to lead the champion heifer in here when Gerald picked her. And I'm going to pick champion just like he picked that one that day. I appreciate the opportunity, Please give your exhibitors a round of applause. It's been an awesome opportunity. Thank you again.
Well, congratulations, your grand champion Shorthorn female here at the Cattlemen's Congress. That'll be Carter Wickard, Wilkinson, Indiana, with CF Cristalucci 230 RKXCT. And congratulations, Reserve Grand Champion goes to Braylon Schaefer, Hagerstown, Indiana. Again, congratulations to all of our Shorthorn exhibitors. And again, a special thank you to our judge today, Mr. Andrew Foster.
Well, here on the Chiangus side, we've got a really challenging class in terms of placement. There's some different types and kinds, but I think we come with a heifer we came to an agreement on. Sam and I thought she just had the most of everything. She's probably the stoutest bone female. She's the widest base heifer in terms of muscle shape when you get behind her. Big ribbed. She's not the sleekest necked heifer we're probably going to see all day, but I think just in terms of a cow prospect, I think she's got the most power and the most of everything than anything in this particular class. Heifer we've got here in second, standing still, we kind of thought maybe that was our class winner when she's probably just a little bit more elegant in terms of look up through her front 1/3. She's got plenty of everything in terms of depth of rib and body shape and dimension. When you get her on the go is kind of when she ends up in second. As you watch her watch out the ring, she gets pretty short-strided off both ends. Like to change that about her, and she could sure move up a place in this class. A good female out here coming in third. She probably is not quite as soggy and deep flanked as the two females that are above her. She at times wants to kind of get just a tick soft in that top when she relaxes. Got just a little bit more chest floor coming down in her. Super long bodied. She is long necked. She's got enough shape. Probably just not quite the power as those two females that are above her just in terms of depth and dimension. Green heifer here closing the class, but that's a nice one. She's got lots of good pieces and parts. I think her days are going to be better down the road if you just give this some more time. Long neck, good looking female. When you compare her to the ones in front of her, she's probably not quite as wide pin at this point, but I think just with time and feed, that one will sure look nice on down the road.
Well, congratulations back to the Chiangus ring. Your champion early junior heifer calf will go to Michael Barnett of Woodlawn, Tennessee. Reserve in that division will go to Bella Bennett of Knox, Indiana. Third place will go to Samantha Van Voris, Bowling Green, Ohio. In fourth place will go to Mackenzie Klemkowski of Palmetto, Florida. We're now going to welcome in Class 6 in the Chiangus ring.
Nice single entry here, be August, I believe they told me. Just lots to this female. She's probably as big-ended as any female we've seen so far today in terms of muscle. She sure got enough body and dimension and shape to her. Big bone kind of a female. She's probably, I call her good enough looking in terms of femininity. Just a real nice single entry here. It'd be nice to see her out here later.
Congratulations in Class 6, first place. We'll go to CAL FaceTime exhibited by Mackenzie Klemkowski of Palmetto, Florida. We'll now welcome in your final class in this division, Class 7, Chiangus Heifers.
Couple of powerful summer heifers here in this class, and the one that wins just because of the front 1/3 on this female. She just got so much more elegant head, more feminine head and neck to her. I think she's cleaner into that chest for. I just like everything about that front 1/3 of that female. And you're not disappointed in terms of body shape and dimension when you get on behind her. That female is pretty nice in terms of muscle shape and width, and just a pretty easy class winner between these two. Heifer in second. From her shoulders back, she can compete with the heifer that precedes her in class. From her shoulders back, beautiful hip in these female, good top. She's level rumped, wide based. She's just got a head and a neck that you just kind of like to change and give her a little more wow factor and feminine look to her to beat the heifer that's in front of her. But two real nice females in this class.
Well, congratulations in Class 7, first place. We'll go to back number 7219. That was LLW Caroline 856 KET, exhibited by Haley Allen of Wyoming, Illinois. Second place in congratulations. We'll go to Gemma Emerson. We're now going to bring in your first and second selected champion reserve, Summer Yearling.
This summer division, we've got three nice females out here, these two class winners, and the heifer up here on my right. I don't know if you can pack any more muscle in a female when you get behind this one. She is just a wide pin and wide based, and maybe to an extreme, but that's a big-ended kind of a female that can do a lot of good things, and as a breeding piece, she's good enough in terms of her look. Where I'd change her, she gets a tick straight on both ends and gets out just a hair on her front too, and that's kind of where I would probably make her a little better. But there's a lot of good things, and that's a nice breeding piece right there that you can sure breed to a lot of bulls and go a lot of different ways. Probably the one that's a little more elegant in terms of look is this heifer that came out of the second class. Gives me just a little better cow look in terms of front 1/3. I think she's got a little better set to her hind leg. She's sure got plenty of muscle. She's not as wide based as the one that's right in front of her, but she's got plenty for any kind of female, for any kind of judge. She's going to be your division champion. The heifer up there on my right will be reserved in this division. Congratulations. Nice pair of heifers. We've got a female here that just kind of gives you a cow look when she comes in and stops. She's probably as a good udder. I mean, good teat placement. She's got that right kind of belly depth and very feminine up through her front end. She's about got the right kind of muscle and shape to her, and it's really like her size and her kind. You can change her a little as she gets off those front two, gets a little bit wide and wants to kind of get a little shorter as she gets out in motion. But that's a pretty good female, and I like an awful lot of good things about her. Another nice heifer here in a second. Got a little more chest to her, a little deeper chested, and she didn't quite give you that soft look that our class one does, but that's a nice female. She's good hip, wide-based. Just the front 1/3 is probably the difference in these two females. Congratulations.
Well, to catch you up over here in the Chiangus ring, your champion summer yearling exhibited by Haley Allen, Wyoming, Illinois, reserve champion was Mackenzie Klimkowski of Palmetto, Florida. Out of Class 8 in your late spring yearling division, champion exhibited by Emma Van Hoy, and reserve champion went to Cagney Hoffman. Now in the ring, your final class of Chiangus females. These females were born March of 2022. Just two in this class, but two very nice ones. The one that wins just does it on balance. When you get her on the side profile, she really ties herself in together from one end to the other. She's got a little neater neck and shoulder in her. She's probably a little tidier up through her front end than the heifer that's behind her in class. Love the way her top is and the way she's good and level out through her hip. Plenty of muscle for a female, shaking down a nice udder. At times she's wanting to fight that halter, and you'll think maybe she's not getting off those front two, but then when she gets to going and heading back out of the ring, she gets out and covers her tracks and does a nice job. So good female, a pretty easy class winner for us. Do like a lot of things about this heifer in second. From her shoulders back, that's a powerhouse kind of a female.
got a great cow look to her. She doesn't balance up in terms of the depth of that chest, maybe just not quite as good in that front one-third as a female that wins the class, but that's a nice one. That's a nice pair of heifers, and when you just got two in a class, congratulations.
Well, congratulations on our final class and division in your Open Chiangus Female Show. Your champion early spring yearling. We'll go to back number 7225. That was a BMW Ace 2327 KET exhibited by Mallory Johnson. Second place in reserve in that division. We'll go to back number 7228. That's BMW Ace 2 100 KET exhibited by Luke Jennings. Well, at this time, we'll bring those those division champion and reserves into the ring, and our judges will select their grand and reserve grand champion, Chiangus Heifers.
It's certainly been a pleasure here to judge the Chiangus female show. Love the heifers we've got back out here. They're our type and kind, and the kind salmon I like to raise and show. And I know how hard it is to do this. It's not easy. We've been here quite a few days showing, and still got a couple of days to go. But man, this is a nice set, and you should be proud of yourself as exhibitors and for this breed has come. You can run with anybody. There's no doubt about it. I'm not going to probably talk through all these divisions, but it's been a pleasure for me to get to judge this show with my son for the first time, and it means a lot to us for you to let us do that. I need to get him out here and get his feet wet a little bit. He's always criticizing my judging. It's kind of nice to get him out here, see what it's like when you got to stand in the middle of this ring and make a quick decision and kind of defend your opinions. But everybody needs to try this a couple of times. It's not near as easy as it looks when you've got cattle this good. So if you would, give these exhibitors a round of applause, and I'll show you which one Sam and I prefer. Congratulations to all of you exhibitors.
Well, congratulations, Grand Champion Chiangus heifer here at the Cattlemen's Congress in the Open Show. We'll go to Mallory Johnson with BMW Ace 2 327 KET. And congratulations, Reserve Grand Champion comes out of our first division. That's back number 7201, HIGG Kelly 308 LET, exhibited by Pate Parsons, Leavenworth, Kansas. Again, congratulations to all of our Chiangus female exhibitors. We'll go right into your Chiangus Bull Show. First class in the ring, Chiangus Bulls, born May of 23.
Just a single entry here. We got a real useful kind of a bull here from his shoulders back. That one's nice. He's good and square hip. He's still pretty green in his condition yet, but he's got some muscle shape to him when you get behind him. He's probably not quite as neat-necked and clean-fronted maybe as some we've seen today, but that's a good, useful kind of a calf, very well presented. Congratulations to you on your class winner.
Well, congratulations, Class 1 Chiangus Bulls. First place, we'll go to back number 7232. That's WHSP Rock On 20L PCA, exhibited by Whispering Pines of Ravenna, Texas. We're now going to bring in Class 2. This will be your final class in this division.
Kind of got two different types, and it kind of depends on your operation, kind of what you're needing. But just in terms of balance is how this calf wins the class, man, from his nose to his tail. He just ties everything in together in such a nice package. Just love the upheadedness of this calf. Very clean up through his chest and neck. A calf that's just kind of got a beautiful look, and he's sure got some shape when you get behind him. He's not as massive as the calf that's right behind him in class, but that's just a really complete kind of a calf that comes to the top of the class for us. The calf we've got here in second, if you want some extra muscle and power, this would be the calf you can tie to. He is just super wide-bodied and wide-based. With that, you get a little more shoulder, you get a little more chest in this calf than our class winner. You'd like to kind of make him a little sleeker shouldered and a little better up through that front end. But that's a big stout hip dude, and there's a lot of good things about him. And if you want that extra dimension, you've got some cows that need that's one you could sure tie to.
Well, congratulations in Class 2 of our Chiangus Bull Show. First place, we'll go to Weingartner Show Cattle here in Ohio with BMW SCHER Dignity 44L. Second place in that class, and congratulations, we'll go to Haley Holt with Holt Stagecoach 88LET. We're now going to bring those first and seconds in. Select a champion reserve in your first division.
Well, these two up here on my right are your class winners, and it's a pretty easy decision for us today, just as I spoke just a minute ago, just to the overall balance and look and the eye appeal this calf has in the middle right here. He's going to be your calf champion. Congratulations. We're going to use the calf that was second to him in the class to be your reserve calf champion. Two real nice calves. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations, your champion late junior bull calf will go to back number 7234, exhibited by Weingartner Show Cattle, and reserve champion, congratulations, go to Haley Holtz. We're now going to bring in your next division. This will be Class 3 in your junior yearling division.
Nice single entry over bull here. Another calf that just gives you a good look and profile. You love the extension that he has out through his front end. He's very clean made calf. You're not disappointed when you get behind him. He's really wide pin and wide based, really deep and soggy in terms of his middle portion of his body. Just a really good, solid kind of a bull.
Well, congratulations, your champion junior yearling will go to LLW Cardinal Black Coffee, exhibited by Lucas Wisniewski and Hazeland and Cattle. We're now going to welcome in your final class in division. Unless that final class in division is a scratch. Looks like it might be a scratch. We're going to bring in our two divisions and select a grand and reserve grand champion, Chiangus Bull. Just a quick correction on that. Class 3 was a scratch. So that last class that we saw actually came out of Class 4. That was your champion, the senior yearling. That was exhibited by Classic Genetics of Ardmore, Oklahoma, with Classic Qualified 564J.
Not many bulls here in the show, but I think the quality we've got out here is very, very, very good. The calf champion up here on my right just gives you such a good look, and so I said it every time, and just so balanced from one end to the other. He's the neatest looking in terms of look and front end, and but usually when you get one that's that nice neck and that good shoulder, you don't have quite as much shape, but he's sure all right in terms of muscle. He's got nice bone. He gets out and goes and travels really free and easy. Very clean sheath kind of a calf. Just a real complete kind of an individual. The big bull down here on the end, when you get him parked, that calf, that bull gives you a nice look. He's got that extension, that front end. He's good hipped kind of a bull. When you get him on the go, you'd like to see him handle those hind two with a little more authority. He kind of wants to get outside of his skeleton just a little bit on his hind two legs, but that's a powerful individual, good hipped, wide based. He's got some length of neck to him, but another good one. Good calf out here, the reserve calf too. He in that particular division, I said he was the widest based calf of the two in terms of muscle. Just got just a little bolder shoulder and a little plainer in terms of look up through his front end, but that's a good one. He's clean sheath and good boned, and another nice calf. So if you would, give him a round of applause, and Sam and I'll talk about him one more time.
Well, congratulations, your grand champion Chiangus bull, exhibited by Weingartner Show Cattle, Harrod, Ohio, with BMW SCHER Dignity 44L. Well, again, before we conclude our bull show, ladies and gentlemen, still here with us in the Jim Norick Arena, let's put our hands together and thank Mr. Ernie and Sam Wallace for joining us here in Oklahoma City. And congratulations, Reserve Grand Champion Chiangus bull, coming out of that same division. That'll go to Haley Holt with Holt Stagecoach 88 LET. Well, once again, congratulations to all of our Chiangus exhibitors today here at the Cattlemen's Congress.